What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I am Big Ben, and in this video I want to talk about my trades I made in Pinterest. Okay, so if you're not aware, Pinterest had earnings yesterday on the 27th after the market closed. So they actually, click here, they actually beat on earnings, 11 cent actual versus negative 8 cent. Okay, so if they beat on earnings, you ask yourself, or you would think that the stock would maybe gap up a little bit or stay the same. But no, Pinterest actually gapped down and finished the day about 11%. Okay, so before earnings even came up, maybe like a week or so, I went ahead and I bought some leaps and Pinterest. Okay, the leaps are to January 2023, and I had a very strong bullish thesis in Pinterest, and hoping that it's as far as the company growth and the new subscribers and the revenue, that they would have made a jump to maybe about $90 or $95. As you can see, I have $97.50 mark, but instead of happening, it gapped down. And yes, I took a pretty good hit in here, but I'm going to show you guys on the actions I am going to take and some of the actions I've already taken and some of the positions that I have open with Pinterest. Okay, so what I'm going to do is click over to my Fidelity account. I need to move more money over here to Thinkorswim. Just much easier instead of having multiple trading platforms open. So what you're looking at now is my actual one of my main accounts over in Fidelity, and this is the one I do all my riskier trades, and try to grow my account over time, at least by maybe 20 to 30% on a year. Okay, and so far we're about maybe $3,000 down, which I just started trading this account about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But other than that, here is my Pinterest leaps. As you can see, I have 10 calls, 65 strike for January 20th, 2023. Okay, so good 2 years out, 2.5 years out. So I'm not necessarily worried about the drop in the stock. It's just before the stock drop or before earnings even came out yesterday, I was up around maybe $3,800. It kind of messes with you a little bit. The psychology type, the mental status of just seeing you had a nice green trade going, and now we're down about $5,100. So I've been in this position many times, and that's why I have the time on these leaps. Okay, so 2023. So what I did is usually when the market opens, the stock was down. It was down. I figured it would be a very slight chance if it was to recover. So what I did is when I kept watching the stock and it wasn't breaking the $69 price. So if it wasn't going to break 69, it definitely wasn't going to break 70. So I went ahead and sold and turned this into a poor man's covered call. Okay. So for the week, I sold a 74 call in Pinterest, collecting a total of, I believe it was around 42 or 43 cent per contract. So just do the math on that. 43 cents times 10 contracts, it's around $430. Okay, so more likely, sure that this will expire out of the money, but I'll monitor it as we do have Thursday and Friday to trade. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, but as a moment, you guys can see, this is one of my first trades. Like I said, I bought this for any other trade. Pinterest down $5,183.71. I'm sitting cool as a fan. You got to be optimistic. And as long as the company don't go out of business, we don't lose around, what is that, like $24,000 or $25,000. Okay, So my other trade in Pinterest that I'm kind of kicking myself again about is I have a credit spread here. All right, this credit spread was up about 51% the day of earnings. Okay, which was Tuesday. Yeah, the day of earnings. So what I did while Pinterest was up around $75, I sold the 70 put. I sold open 370 puts, and then I bought the open 365 puts. Okay, protecting myself, selling the naked puts, and then buying protection at the 65 strike price. Okay, so this was up 51%, and now it's down 122%, 0.25. Okay, so I have my strategies to possibly roll it down maybe 2 or 3 weeks out from now if I can receive a credit. But this account doesn't have enough margin in it, so if I did, I would actually wait to Friday to see what kind of price I can get for the 65 puts, or what can I sell it for, and then I would sell the 65 put and roll down the 70 put to establish a whole new credit, if I could, maybe at a 68 strike price. Okay, so that's my credit spread. And yeah, don't pay too much mind to other credit spreads inside here. These are pretty much income trades that I've done way out in time. Like this KMB expires June 4th. Netflix expires May 21st. QCOM, actually this expires this week. I'll check on that, see how that does. And then Tesla expires this week. So Tesla, hopefully we stay up above 675, but yeah, more to follow on that. Okay. All right. And last but not least, I switched over to my other account where I have a naked put and pins, which luckily I only took out one put. This is more of a conservative account. This is my actual dividend portfolio, and I sell puts to generate extra income and then buy stock when I close for a profit. Okay, so this one is pretty easy to manage. I'll end up probably rolling this 2 weeks out to a month out, depending on how much of a credit I can get. If I can take 5 cent or 10 cent of credit to roll it down to a 66 or 65 strike price, then I'll do just that. Okay, so puts that are naked are always easier to manage than a credit spread because you have to find a slot for the actual put that you sell a naked, and then the protection that you're buying to protect yourself. So, you know, if the stock was to go to zero or something like that, you have a risk defined trade. Okay, so as far as pins, the possibilities of what can happen with the stock is we do have support right here at the $65 strike price. Okay, so let me just draw the drawing tool. So if I go ahead and I draw this line across, you see that support right there. Let's cut across. But if the support was to break, then pins would head down here to my 200 exponential moving average, which is, what is that? Which is like $60, $60 or $61. Okay. But yeah, no one can predict the future on what happens with stocks. I've seen many stocks that have had wonderful earnings and they gap down 10, 20, 30%. It's happened with some of the biggest stocks in the stock market, from Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Google. It just happens. But usually it's actually a gift when something like this happens. Okay, because if I didn't have any kind of Pinterest trades on, I'll be loading the boat with maybe like 3 or 4 naked puts, or maybe like a 60-day credit spread built around here out of the money, around like a $60 price, give myself the best possible probability I think I can benefit from over time. Oh yeah, buy leaps, buy stocks. So for you investors out there, it's be a great time. This area right here is a great area to pick up however many shares, 5, 10, whatever your bankroll looks like. Okay, but other than that, man, like I said, my biggest holding, my leaps, was about $24,000, $25,000. I'm gonna just sell calls against it. Which, when you have your leaps and you just had a regular stock, it's just regular. It's just regular stock options. Okay, but once you start selling other stocks against it, once you start selling calls against your leaps, or your bullish, your call options, okay, then you turn it into a poor man's cover call, or you can call it a debit spread, like it was defined when my trading account came up. All right. So other than that, that was my trade as far as like in Pinterest. It wasn't really a trade from the time being. Right now it's just management, but it's not a loss until you lock it in. A lot of traders would see that loss, and even years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, that was me. I would see a loss that's that big and would close out the trade. But that's why you take the steps necessary and you give yourself time on your hands. I didn't necessarily have to do a 3-year contract on Pinterest. I could have made it for January 1st, 2022. But just knowing that I want to own the stock at least for a year plus and just sell calls against it is my strategy. So, like I said, just kind of sitting here cool as a fan, just waiting on seeing what the rest of the week is going to hold for Pinterest. Hopefully, I get a small bounce in it, but we'll see. But other than that, I hope you learned something from this video. Like, subscribe. I'll do what I can as far as like building my channel up. It's coming. It's coming. It's just a lot on my plate right now, and I got a lot to teach you guys out there in the YouTube community. But other than that, everyone have a good day. Peace.